been originated. Brothers truly trying to save a soul, provoke thought so we can really designate a goal. We on that grown man scribble, the ball in our court with command on the dribble. This is something that'll help the show, cause it's something that'll help us grow. We see exactly what the people need. Now welcome to the show, Spitting Policies. Welcome to the show, Spitting Policies. Welcome to the show, Spitting Policies. Learn to listen when it's grown man talking, cause real spit you don't find that often. Learn to listen when it's grown man talking, cause real spit you don't find that often. Spitting Policies.
Spitting Policies.
Spitting Policies.
Yeah.
Trev, what we doing tonight, Trev? You ain't
It's that beards and bald
wake up.
heads thing.
God damn it.
With that beards and bald heads thing.
Yep.
Yes,
Yep.
sir.
Yep. Forgive us for being a little bit tardy. We all got tardy slips
A
tonight.
little bit, a lot of it.
Little bit now.
Little bit, a lot of it.
Oh, a little bit. It's just
A lot of it. A lot of it.
in a
A lot
minute.
of it.
In a minute.
A lot of it.
So what we gonna do? We ain't gonna waste no time. Since we behind, we gonna jump right in here, and we gonna check in with the fellas and see how their week is going, and then we'll tell you the title of the show, and then we get started. Trevor, how your week going?
Good. Next.
Panu, how your week going?
The show is still gonna be an hour. You know that, right?
Yeah, but
We're not gonna rush an hour.
But
Let's
just
not rush.
agree.
You can't rush
No,
perfection.
just
brother.
agree. No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Anyway,
just agree.
my week has been great thus far. Yes.
Okay.
It has.
TV?
Great week, man. Glad to be here with y'all.
Always.
This nation, we going through a lot, man. Wars, the sun was shining like a little book that I read.
Man.
Yeah. So I'm getting ready to travel, right? So y'all pray.
Oh, we
like,
got
this is really a prayer. And
Yes,
that's
sir.
during these times, I don't know how we're being received on the other side. So
We said them before you
I'll be
go,
right.
bro.
Yeah, I'll be right back, bro.
Yeah, listen.
Please,
way
please,
before you
Lord,
go,
please,
bro.
Lord Jesus.
Yes.
Yeah. Great week. Let's go, man.
Canoe.
Yeah, I already said.
Okay, I'll say what you got.
Yeah,
Hey, I'm good.
No, you dress like you in another country.
Hey, I'm already in another universe, baby. I'm in another universe. Yes.
Okay. Yes. Say so. Our topic tonight is why do women want to get married? And we have a special guest in studio that can help us out with it.
Yes.
She's just so happy to be a lady. She's a woman.
With a lot of women friends or a lot of conversation.
Man,
Yeah.
If you follow
Come on.
Yolanda, she has some
Opinionated.
interesting
She's opinionated.
conversations on her page.
Yes.
You say your girl down.
All right. It should be good and juicy.
And tell them don't be afraid to call in. We love you and send a text, but we'll prefer you to call in. We want to hear you. So with that said, let's jump into it, man.
I want to
Go ahead.
introduce-
I'm sorry. I am so.
Yolanda as our guest. I don't want to say all that you do. I've seen Yolanda everywhere in the community. I'm just going to call her a community activist. Would that be a great assessment of who you are? I know you're so much more, but
It is, but in this space, I am the biased opinion on Instagram. I have about 50,000 followers.
oh, good Lord!
I've been talking on Instagram for probably at least 12 years.
Yes.
And I talk about politics, relationships, sports, hot topics, neighborhood stuff, national issues like we said. So in this space, I'll just be the biased opinion.
Okay, so we might as well get right into it. Get it cracking on the biased opinion of. Give us one reason why women wanted to get married, and maybe one reason you wanted.
I'll start just from the superficial.
Okay,
You want me to start from? We got an hour to talk about this, so I'll start from just so they can get married, so they can have the dress. The Cinderella syndrome. That would be the first reason.
Cinderella syndrome.
Yeah.
They want a wedding, not a marriage. They
Yeah,
want
they want to get
They
to
want a
West. They want to have a big wedding gown, a big diamond ring, and engagement. And now people go all out for this, so they want to put it on Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and any other platform that I may not be familiar with yet. So TikTok, they want to show everybody he loved me.
Yeah, and growing up in the ghetto, you know, when kids would have dolls, they would always have them. And if they didn't have a Ken doll with it, they might marry Godzilla or whatever else they had to play with.
The Army Man, the Green
The
Army
Army
Man,
Man,
the
exactly.
Green Army Man.
Yeah. Spiritual Armstrong.
But this
Yeah.
generation, who's much younger than I am, I think it's more for the brand. They want to do it for likes and followers. They don't really understand what marriage is about. So I'll start with the lowest level, just to show everybody that I can get married. Look at me, I'm engaged, I'm getting married.
Come on here. Telling the truth from the rip. Wow, wow.
Often. Yeah. Thank you.
He prepared for
Yeah.
all of us.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's more than just that one day. You plan for how you have engagement party, have an engagement, go find a dress, and you spend all this money on the gift, and food and all this stuff. But that only lasts so one day.
And you saying this, you think it's one
Well, Well, I just think that's the lowest level of why somebody would want to get married. Just to say, I did it. Just to prove,
No matter in the age.
no matter the age.
Yeah.
Just to say that I got married. Just to prove, just to show. Just to show that I had a wedding, that I had the prettiest dress. I had the Rolls Royce. I had the Frankie Beverly Mays. I had the EP band, the furnace band performing my wedding. Just to show.
And that is the reason.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, because they gonna turn it all the way out. The furnace band coming to your wedding, they were talking about it. Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what about? Okay.
So that's the first level. So
Yeah.
Well,
Did
not,
you
don't
ever
change from the level yet.
did you
Yeah.
really consider that as a reason? Did you ever? Because you guys are men. I don't know why men get into this conversation about why
Absolutely.
women get married.
Yeah,
I just
yeah, yeah.
start at the very bottom, just to say I got married, just to prove that I had to get married and show everybody that I'm getting married. I think that's the very first reason why.
You gentlemen, you've been married before, right? Did you sense any
No.
of these things?
I
When
really-
you was approaching marriage?
I thought, shit, I was getting married. Not because I can, dress up. Because, you can do that anytime. Or, you can go have an event that's not on the level of a marriage to show your suit.
People are getting helicopters for a
I
prom.
don't really.
For a prom.
Yeah.
So imagine what they would do for a marriage. They get a helicopter for a prom. So imagine what they would do to show someone they got married. This is just prom. You're 18.
It's fine nowadays. Or a little wedding.
Wow. I gotta reassess this.
Man,
Well, you're contemplating getting married now, you're not?
I talked to him about this at a reception, and he told me
Yeah.
absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
that way.
But I was thinking about
Think
Right.
about what?
it. You know,
Think about what?
I was thinking about marriage and how could be a good thing for some people. You know,
For some people, not you.
not me,
Oh,
but and then she brings it. Oh man, yeah.
yeah, that's.
No.
So you would get married again?
Not with this going on.
So it's out of the question.
It's out of the question now.
Well,
Mine
I'm
just
gonna be
shed some
assuming that
light.
you would marry somebody who's at least 40.
Well, you said this age doesn't matter with this scenario. They just
Well,
want the fantasy of the wedding.
I'm making an assumption. I'm gonna assume that you would marry a black woman. And statistics show that
Clear.
black
Clear.
women are less likely to be married.
Yes.
So
Yes. They are.
you would still, even at level age 29 and 39,
Yeah.
they would still on the show if they could be married.
So it's all about the show.
It's not. We on the first level. We have an hour to
Hey,
talk
we haven't
about.
went up the
Okay.
elevator.
This
Sorry,
is just,
on my
this
first
is,
floor.
we on
Yeah,
the
I'm maybe I'm just stuck.
Yeah, you
I'm stuck.
Yeah.
It ain't even
Yeah.
stuff. We voted to wait on the
Yeah.
ones to come
Waiting
on.
everybody to get in.
Waiting on everybody to come in. And y'all see the number scrolling at the bottom. So y'all call in and come on in
That's
because the
first
elevator
level.
is about to move.
The first level is the show. And I think the second level is I'm in love. I'm in love. It doesn't matter if I don't have nowhere to live. It don't matter if he in jail. It don't matter if I love him. I'm gonna do it. I don't care if he got 5 kids. I don't care if I got 3. Now we got 8. I love him. Let's do this. We in love.
Is that truly love or is it more of a It might be to her.
I can't speak
I just
for
want a
anybody.
husband. I just want some, like my big mama used to say.
That's another level.
Is that another level?
Yeah.
We still on the,
Yeah,
we
we
on
on the
the
second floor. We on the second floor. I'm in love. Second floor is I'm in love.
Is it truly love? Really?
I mean,
It could be.
But it's how you love.
Yeah,
What
how
is
you
your
love.
love language?
No, because the way she described it, it was like, I'm in love. I just, want to be with him no matter how many children he got.
but
No,
that's
that's-
love.
That's
But
love.
That's
Love is-
love.
love is
Unconditional
That's
love.
love.
Love is
We-
blind.
Love is blind.
That's love is blind. I
Love
don't
is
care
blind.
if he's been married 3 times before. I don't care. I love him. I love her. I don't care if she was a 3 or 4. I love her. I want to get married. But
No,
you,
as you were
You.
growing, have your love grown, your sensitivity to love, right?
My understanding of
No,
love.
we were in love with beauty early, right?
he might still be in love with you. He still may be a little shallow. He might be
He
a
is.
little shallow into the pool.
He's stuck between first floor and second floor. Yeah, that's
He
it.
is.
You don't hear the alarm? Oh, he probably ain't trying to get off.
Right,
Yeah,
no.
he hit the alarm.
Emergency.
Yeah.
Somebody run me.
But love is good because love is the perfect foundation for your marriage. If you don't have love, then what will you fall back on? Because in the marriages you have good and you have bad. You have ups, you have downs. So if you don't have love, what will you fall back on? If you only got married for the dress and the car and the ring, they're gonna come out with a better ring. They're gonna come out with a better dress. They're gonna come out with a better venue. So
I
18
think,
years later, what you
think
gonna
it's a
do?
mix. I think for me, it's a mix between friendship and love. Like it's essential that you be my friend. Because that's gonna keep me even when I'm not in love with you. For me,
Well, what do you mean not in love with you? You mean I'm not like Google Gaga
No,
over you, or I just fall out of
you
love
can
with
fall.
Yeah,
Men fall in and out of love. I don't know about women, but we definitely fall.
I'm not like this. I just like you.
you? Is that really love? Though?
Yeah,
If you
because
can
the
fall
love
out of
will
it with
come
me,
right
but you
back.
really
Okay,
love
okay. Look, do you love your ex-wife? You know what I mean?
Did you love her at some point?
We-
Yeah, that's the part I like.
That's what I'm saying. So we
me.
definitely
But
have.
do you
Oh, yeah,
have
that
love for her?
That's a dangerous question.
Yeah.
I
I would,
ask that
okay,
question.
no, I'm gonna answer because she is my sister.
Right. So you do have
Some
love for
level,
her.
yeah.
Okay, and that's fair, but not romantically. Okay. So I just feel like people get all the different kinds of love confused. And I agree with EP about friendship, but you have to really be in love with the person that you marry because they're gonna make you mad and they're gonna disappoint you. They're gonna hurt your feelings. They're gonna do all that stuff. But if you're really in love with them, you're gonna figure out a way to bring it back and say, okay, I forgive you. I didn't forget, but I forgive you. That's when you're really in love. If you just like,
Ready to throw it away.
yeah, it's not really
Yeah,
that real
that's-
love.
I have to ask. All your friends that are watching, the majority of them, are they married?
I'm a black woman. No, the majority of my friends are not married.
Oh, okay. So the ones that are married, would you say they married for love or would they marry
I
for
wouldn't know. I
the
can't
sake
speak
of
to that.
That's a very smart answer.
I cannot speak to that.
Yeah.
But the ones that I know have been married longer than me or as long as me, they stuck to it. They meant it. It's not an easy ride. You can't just jump
So
on the
just,
ride.
just
It gets better, but it gets rough.
Let me ask you this: do you believe in unconditional love?
Yes.
Think about it.
Unconditional, I do. I do believe in unconditional
There's no
love.
she
condition.
believes in circles.
There's
I am
no,
so-
wait. There's no condition, nothing that can happen to make you fall out of love. Just think about that.
Yeah,
One
There's
second.
nothing that can make me stop loving the person. How I asked him, do you have love for her? There's people that I have love for that I'm not in love with because I'm married and I'm with my husband. But there's people that I still have love for. But I'm not romantically in love with them or I don't want to be with them. But people that I've truly loved in my life, I still have love for them, but I'm not in love with them. I don't want to be with them. That's but in the back of your mind, you know you still love them. You still got them for. You don't want to see them on fire. You don't want to see them get picked up by ice.
Like you said, it's levels. It's different levels of love.
It is.
So when putting it that way, then I guess you could say it's that love that is right above life. You know, that when you said the statement that you made, but no feelings are in love or any, you know, to that level. No, but hey, I love you. Oh, matter of fact, this is the best love of all. I love you and Jesus.
Okay.
I
So
love you.
I'm taking it as though, EP, you don't believe in unconditional love. You think there's conditions.
I think there are.
Only God loves you unconditionally.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
I believe I love my children unconditionally. I still love them no matter what the hell they do. They may get on my nerves, but I'm not going to stop loving them. But for me, with a woman, and I don't know about that.
Well, you know, and some people you love them, but you gotta break up with them. They over there. Some people that you know that ain't no good for you. You love them, but you can't be with them. They over there.
And it's relative too, because some people don't have that bond you have with their kids. Some people don't even know their kids.
Right.
So that varies. It depends on who you're talking about. And what
The ones that
relationship
you
you're
know,
talking about.
you love them.
The children that you know.
Yeah.
You should.
Yeah,
You should.
you're right.
So you have some unconditional love for some
For
children. You may not
anybody
know.
that has children, I would suggest you make it your business to know them, especially as they grow.
That's the thing.
Best gift.
No, you need to really get to
No,
know
I
them.
know. They have
It's
some
not
tests
who
and
you
stuff
think
that
they
comes
are.
out. You're like, hey, Paul, what? That's another story.
Yeah.
Because they gotta get that love back. You know, and if they're not getting that love back, then you gonna love them a little bit.
But you don't love your kids at this point. You just love them because God gave them to you. Well, that's why I love my kid. She could never love me like I love her. She
Yeah,
could,
but you know
she
it.
could
I know
never.
it's love.
I mean, there's things that sometimes she surprises me. I'm like,
Oh, okay.
Hey, Keith, can we load the first video so we can get another woman's opinion? And we have another woman in the audience. If you want to yell, scream, or shout, anytime. Your reasons for getting married are one.
To marriage, seeing how much can I get from this man? How many bills can women are getting into marriage, seeing how much can I get from this man? How many bills can he pay? How many rings can I get? What's the most expensive wig and weave that I can get out of this?
And that is the younger generation.
Some other ones, you have some other.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the majority. I don't think that's the majority.
context of what she was saying.
It was.
We just heard a
You
little
wanna say it
snippet.
again?
We only heard a
No, she
little
was talking
snippet
about marriage. Why women want to
Why,
get married.
yeah.
because they want to get a wig.
They want
Expensive.
married or
How
whatever.
much she can
They done bought all the hair in China. I know they're not getting married to get more. They done bought all.
Women are getting into marriage, seeing how much can I get from this man? How many bills can he pay? How many rings can I get? What's the most expensive wig and weave that I can get out of this?
We have to play it back for
Yeah,
the
right,
mother.
this good.
Okay.
Look, yeah,
Just
this good.
so she can
Okay, so we're gonna go to the next level. Finances.
finance. Okay. Now we're getting somewhere.
Yeah.
Now we're getting somewhere.
Okay.
Women get married.
I
Some
do
women get
believe
married.
that some women get married for stability.
Mm.
Stability. Or benefits, or 401k, for medical insurance, or protection. Okay, something.
Right.
So, in your opinion, what percentage of women?
I couldn't speak to that, but I do think
A
that
high
that's-
percentage?
it's hard to say because
It's fun.
women are high earners now. Black women are highly educated. There's a lot of black women who are bringing money into the relationship. So
Yeah, and those
I
are-
would not.
yeah.
I would not say. Maybe if I would say maybe 30 years ago, yes. But nowadays, My daughter's friends are 22 years old. They already got master's degrees, 23 years old. So they have the potential to be a high earner. Now, I don't know what they gonna be in the future, but when it's time for them to get married, they probably gonna, they're registered nurses at 24. They walk in their door making $98 an hour, $78 an hour. How many people really is making $78 an hour, just regular average everyday person?
Also, that is also contributing to women not wanting to be married, because a lot of women take that position and they feel like, I don't need a man because I don't need him financially.
Well, I don't believe that I don't need a man. Go ahead, Gerard. I don't believe that I don't need a man mantra. I just think that people say that as a defense mechanism. Because they think they're not gonna get it.
Oh, now I know why they say that.
Okay. All right.
Well, you shed some light. Because they know they're not gonna get one, so they might as well.
Well, let me say the one they want. Because
The one they want.
everybody is not tall, dark, handsome, and rich.
Uh-huh.
So you might get short, rich, and look all right, or you might get good, hard worker and save his money. You could be with a guy that make $100,000 and spend all his money, or be with a guy that make 50 and save half. At least he got 25,000. The man that's in 100, he spent all of it. But people don't think like that. They think he's a high earner, he got a lot of money, but he might have a lot of bills. They don't
Or a
want
lot
to
of
ride in Honda
kids.
Accord. They want to ride in the Phoenix. But the Honda Accord came for it. Disposable income.
Well, we gonna let you preach on good. They be thinking we just was saying this
When's the
stuff.
collection
So
plate?
I'm
Well, I do,
glad to
y'all
hear
look
this.
past my hour, so I'm gonna have to get $20.
We
We got it 4 weeks.
Yeah,
We got you.
No, but really, I think that there is a small percentage of people who do get married for financial stability, but men are supposed to protect and provide for women. That's part of your job. When you get a man, if your man don't protect you and provide for you, then to me that's not a man. That's how I was raised. That's how my father was. So I only can go to the man that I was raised by, and so that's how I was raised, and that's what I think.
So do you keep protecting when they keep starting shit?
You know, it's funny that you mentioned that. I asked the question today on my Facebook page. Keith Sweat made a post and said, I will pay 100% of the bills, but you have to shut up when I say shut up. You have to shut up when I say shut up. Everybody on my post, except for 3 people, was like, oh no, I'm not shutting up.
See?
I thought that was crazy.
That's a problem.
I thought that was crazy. If your man tell you to be quiet, why wouldn't you be quiet? It's your man.
And a man is not like, to your comment as well, a man is supposed to provide, right? And then also women, it's their job to help a man
Absolutely.
to provide.
I agree.
But it's not often said that I'm gonna help you build this dream for us. It's like you have to come already with it, or I ain't with you.
That's where our value is. Whatever we can do and how we can provide and what we are. Oftentimes our value is based upon our what we do. And our value oftentimes is based upon our looks.
But other races, they're taught early to go find a man that has potential, and you go invest and help him as he's going through law school or going through med school, and then you get married and you have kids and you build generational wealth that way. We're taught a lot of times that you're too young to get married. Go to school, have fun, and then when you get around 30 years old, then you start to settle down.
But what may work for them may not necessarily in their culture may not necessarily work for every other culture, whether it be Jewish or European, Ukrainian, or Black, Hispanic. It's all those different cultures. Figure it out and find out what works for them.
But
so
I kind of disagree, because a large percentage of the reason that women choose to get married is to raise a family. And then by the time if you're just starting to take it serious at 30, now you're running into the latter part of your ability to have kids.
What would you say to the fact that oftentimes Hispanic, Asian, Jewish, Eritrean, Ethiopian, those families were allowed to have their fathers in the house and be married to their parents, be married to their mom. So those cultures were not torn apart. Those cultures were not They didn't have things that brought or drew a wedge between the father and the mother. They didn't have a school to prison pipeline. They weren't set up for failure. So the thing is, you have these different cultures that are encouraged communal mentalities. You could have, at one point it was a joke, you can find certain nationalities, you have 3 families or 3 members of 16 in a house. Yeah, but when they left, they all had one. You had people being joked around for being in a one truck but no seatbelt, and they're all going to work, dropping off and picking each other up after work. They had one car. They understood how to sustain and survive, but they were allowed to be community. So what has been done to us has been a generational evil gene. So I get your point.
I think there's a lot of Black people who have their parents, mother and father. I just think that barbershop talk, beauty shop talk, culturally, just over the years, ball and chain. Women is like, oh, you get married, but men is like ball and chain. It's like you're losing something, but you're really not gaining something. To EP's point, it's a helpmate, it's a partner, it's somebody to go through life with. Like rent, if you got to rent a place, it's $4,000 or $5,000. Wouldn't you want to have somebody that can pay the lights and the gas and the cable and the water and the insurance, and you pay the $5,000, you got to pay $10,000? Like, we have to start programming our younger people to see that there's an advantage. And we also have to stop making it cool to have kids out of wedlock, and a bunch of them at that. And then by the time you want to settle down, now you have the men who don't have kids that don't want to marry you, because I'm saying you as a woman, because you do. And they don't want to take care of another man's kids. So it's a cycle that's just keep going around and around, when we should be promoting when you knock my, like the older days, you break it, you bought it, you knock my daughter up, guess what? We're going on downtown, y'all get married, y'all can live in the back room, married. Ain't no more shacking up. Y'all can live over here, be married, and get this shit together. That's what I think, because our families are behind, because women are waiting until they're 37, 38, trying to have kids, trying to get married. Like EP said, Russia, and you might even know if you really want to be with this person. Now what you want to do?
Chasing that clock.
Right, you're chasing the clock now. And you shouldn't be under that kind of pressure to start a family. And then if it doesn't work out, now you're all sad and disappointed, and your marriage might break up, or your husband might cheat and have a baby by somebody that's 55. Now you gotta see if you really love them, because you might have to stay with them.
What was that?
You might have to stay with them.
Yeah.
It ain't no easy task. It's why you don't want to get married, because it's hard.
So why do you all think that we don't have the cultural pressures? Like back in the day, you had to get, like my grandparents are from the country. When you got married at an early age, they started having children at 15, 16.
Because you was grown. High school ended like at 10th or 11th grade. You was grown.
Yes. So we're just, society is doing these cultural pressures now that they're not, it's not an emphasis on marriage or marry before you carry. That emphasis is not being divulged in our families, right?
Well, I just don't think that people put a preference, or it's like being a school teacher. When we were kids, a school teacher was next to the preacher. You know, it was the pastor and the school teacher. The respect level. It's like I hear all the time, oh, marriage don't matter. Will it matter when he get into the car accident and now he's in there about to die, and then his mom and his sister on CTV come, and now they in charge, and they tell you what you're going to do with the person that's taking care of your family. It does matter. But we have this idea that it doesn't matter. It is more than that, but this is the person that's going to look after you in case something happens. We at the age, people having strokes and heart attacks every day.
And if you pick the wrong one, you stuck with one that ain't gonna take care of you.
Yeah,
you're not even guaranteed to get taken care of when you get older.
That's true.
I think marriage would probably would even feel like it's the right thing to do if we knew that it is a reward, and it is a reward. So
absolutely. But to me, it makes all alternative.
To you, and I respect that. But oftentimes, when you see people going through tumultuous relationships and divorces, and men see another men lose everything, and lose their mind, and lose a lot. Everybody doesn't necessarily have the mental fortitude to go through a divorce, and some people don't have the character to go through a marriage. So once we see, when we start seeing healthier marriages, productive and prosperous marriages that fulfill God's purpose, then I think that more people would be apt to get married, see the joy in getting married, the peace of getting married, the harmony in getting married. But oftentimes we don't outwardly see that, and especially at home. Oftentimes we don't see it, and if we do see it at home, maybe the partner or the person that we chose did not see it or aware of it. So as a result, there's an imbalance. But if it became more common, harmonious relationships and marriage became more common, then it would encourage other impressionable minds to want to get married too and desire to have that, work things out, have effective communications, and bring even finances together, bring peace to a relationship.
As social media is such a influence on our children, it's hard to beat it. You know, I mean, you can show as much as you want at home and everything, but they're really glued to wanting the peer pressure, the social media pressure. It's so much pressure. You almost have to raise your child around other people that think like you or that share the same values. Because once they get a hold of this tablet or phone, their mind.
You have to fight to add substance to their life as adolescents and as kids.
Yeah.
Because if you add none and they get into society, and then they're definitely going to be dictated by what they see on social media.
Yeah.
But if you instill some stuff in them while they're at that age, you have a much better chance of them. Even if they stray, they will come back.
But adults are thinking social media.
Yeah, that's why I said you have to.
Yeah, grown people are getting mad and having anxiety and taking pills and going to counseling from looking at fake stories on social media, fake people's lives. So it's not just kids, grown people have it too. But I do believe that there's a lot of great relationships and marriages, but they're quiet.
Yeah, they're not posting on social
Drama is what people like to see.
Yeah.
It sells on television. It sells on the news. It sells everywhere. Anywhere there's drama, there's an audience. You see people getting beat by the police. You see people getting beat in the grocery store, robbed, and people all standing there holding their phone, taking a picture of it. Where in my day, people would have been jumping on their back, trying to save them, whatever, but they want the drama. There's plenty of people, the people that's happily married, when you see married on their post, all you do is see them at Disneyland, at church, at the kids' graduation, in the backyard, watering the grass. That's boring. People don't want to see that. But that's how you last, by being mundane. All that excitement and all that ain't gonna last.
Negative.
Keith,
Just excitement period. It gets played out.
Second video.
Well, I can't see wait to see the second video.
It's social media, so we're talking about it.
Oh, my sister just said it. That's why it's important to build the foundation and move on to. That's right, sister. That's my best friend.
Here it is, the 3 reasons why women get married. Now, before I drop this controversial bomb, I need to illustrate an indisputable fact. 99% of marriages are initiated because the man asked for the woman's hand in marriage. So a lot of the reasons women get married are greatly affected by the reasons men get married. But without further ado, let's stir the shit pot. The number one reason that women get married is undoubtedly delusion, and
They want to be the woman.
Yeah. No, we're gonna keep going on. I don't know.
You gotta just stop.
I thought it was long.
She was saying,
and before you guys lose your shit, please understand that the delusion stems from reason number 1 and 2, that men get married. You have to look at the previous video for context, but look at the comments for confirmation. Majority of men in the comments confirmed the number 1 reason they get married is because they were ready and she was the best option in proximity. Majority of women in the comments genuinely believe their husband picked them because of true love. So there's a fundamental disconnect there. Women have this rom-com fairy tale expectation of love and marriage, whereas men are just like, well, she was the best thing shaken, so that's delusional. Number 2 reason men get married is, well, they might as well, right? We discussed this. This is the side chick turned main, the main chick that never left, the 10-year, 3-kid baby mama who was habitually cheated on. It was the last woman standing, right? A lot of these women get married because they believe that marriage is going to change his toxic pattern of behavior, or that it puts them a grade above the other women he used and abused throughout the course of their relationship. It's just a very pick-me mentality. But that's not any shade towards married women, because essentially you can only pick from the men who pick you. So in order for you to be married, you gotta be picked. Reason number 2 that women get married is money. And I'm not talking about gold digging.
Because she's gonna talk for a couple more minutes. I think Kimberly might want to call in. But she talked about some of the things you mentioned, like a fairy tale. They want the fairy tale wedding. It's most women taught that young, like get married, have the white picket fence, that fairy tale.
Well, we've been taught Cinderella and stories similar to Cinderella, Pretty Woman, blah, 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 blah. We've been watching it all of our lives. Mm-hmm. However, that's a fantasy. I mean, half the people the Brady Bunch of dad was gay. Like, the people who we thought was a fairy tale was not what we thought. Yeah. Yeah, the dad was gay. So it's not real. It's just not real, It's just not real. But I think some of the stuff that the young lady was saying was true. But I also think that there's actually adults who get their lives together. When I mean get their lives together, who go to college, find employment or start businesses and find a partner and build. So the story of you gotta have 3 kids by somebody, he gotta drag you and cheat on you and do you dirty, and then once he's tired and got diabetes, now he want to get married. That's a one-off. That's not the majority. That's just not the majority of people that are getting married. And I just think that narrative is just tired and ridiculous. And even if you're not in perfect health, I think that some people probably are waiting a little too long to get married. But some people got married when they was young and they scared to do it again because it went sideways.
Absolutely. So in that case, it's
and
not
I ain't talking to nobody
I'm
here.
just saying, in that case, it's not waiting too long. You already done it. And it didn't work.
But you bought a Honda and it didn't work.
Well,
I'm
gonna tell you.
And then you bought a Benz. It didn't work. You got another one.
Yeah, but with men, it's different.
We just saving up.
Yeah, to get the better car. At least being able to pay for the extended run.
Yeah.
I mean, I just think that you gotta take a chance, because if you don't take a chance, how are you ever gonna know?
Yeah.
How are you never gonna know the love that you could have, the person that could be on your side? Like, why would you not want that?
It's not
Why
that.
do you want to wonder who you want to the movies with and who you gonna go on vacation with? And do you really want to spend $10,000 to take her to the mall dates? No. Take your wife, you ain't gonna think nothing about. But if it's a girl who might just be going for the money, like she said, she want to get the most expensive vacation, the most expensive hair, the most expensive shoes, then now you're gonna be like,
Pick the right wife, though. Because you can't be spending $10,000 on the Maldives and not have a lick of fun.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That is true.
Pick the right one.
Compatibility.
Now you're starting to think, how can you get away with it?
Yeah. Baby, I'm gonna go get some ice. I already got the ice. Well,
So the next level I want to talk about is what EP said about friendship and about compatibility. People should be picking people they're compatible with. Because when you pick, if you're an inside person and you pick an outside person, you're going to feel some kind of way that your person doesn't want to go to the football game, or doesn't want to go golfing, or doesn't want to go to the play, or whatever the thing is. You go to church all the time and they're atheists. That ain't going to work. It just ain't. Eventually, it's gonna. You want to be around family. They hate family. That over time is gonna drag your relationship down. You got to think about all that when you're talking about somebody. We in the last part now of our life, so this is really. If you get married right now, you're really gonna be married forever.
Yeah.
So you got to know who you're getting, and you got to know you want it. Y'all don't look like y'all gonna be sold on this.
No. We're
I'm
looking
trying to
because
tell y'all.
Kevin's getting married next month.
You gotta know. You gotta know, because getting married and thinking that your person is gonna change, that they gonna change and be this other person, they're not. If you got a firecracker, you got a firecracker. If you got a dud, I'm sorry, you just got a dud. you think?
I think, shoot, you speaking the truth. I'm just relishing in it. You know, I'm not normally lost for words, but you're telling the truth, man. And I just wanted them to soak up game from you. But my question is, if you lost the job, you lost the finances, will she still marry you? That's a big question. Like, you don't know until it happens. But
Well, my husband always says the truth is often said in jest. So somebody who is only with you for certain things, they're gonna say it in a joke. They're gonna do something that's going. Everybody mass crack. Everybody tips the hat. It's always something. It's always a tale. You know when you play poker, you got a poker face, but then you got a tell something that you do that's different when you're bluffing. They're gonna show you that they're bluffing. They're gonna show you that they're not genuine, and you gotta be paying attention.
In real time.
Yeah, and really, you gotta pay
In
attention.
retrospect, we figure a whole lot of stuff out.
Right, you gotta be paying attention.
that's what.
You have to pay
That's
attention.
what that.
All them niggas ain't her cousin. They not.
Right.
They not. They're not her brother. They're not her cousin.
A good way to test it is, okay, well, get they mate and let's go out
Right. Let's
go out
all
together.
hang. Right.
Yeah.
Let's all hang. That's right.
quick too, don't give them that long.
It's true.
Can I have this question written down? Can love thrive without the paperwork?
You mean as far as getting married?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Everybody does not want to get married. Some people already have been married. They have a lot of assets. They don't want to split them up. They want to stay at their house. They want you to stay at your house, and y'all get together and travel and have fun. And I think as an adult, and especially maybe going towards retirement and all that, I think that would be perfect for some people. Everybody don't want to.
Canoe, get married, have a ceremony. You take the paperwork, you don't mail it in.
I know somebody that happened to.
Yeah.
Wow.
Somebody that's listening right now.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was looking for my I said, baby, what's that? Where's the marriage thing? He said, oh, I'm married with that last week. I said, oh, you did? He hurried up and put it in the mail. And gave me his dirty clothes. Like, he's fine.
Wow.
Then I said we was married. Like my mom said, that's married.
He
Don't
gave
look
you
at
his
me,
dirty
sir.
clothes?
Yes. My husband
And
used to wash his own clothes. And we got married on a Sunday, I think. And on Monday, he took his clothes and put it in my dirty clothes basket.
Listen, like, yeah.
We were living together, but he washed his own clothes. But
Yeah.
that day after we got married, he was like, "Bloop."
Let me dump mine in New York. Mine take a little softener, okay? Just a little softener.
I thought that was
A little bounce.
Yeah, a little bounce.
so.
But a lot, I
So
agree
we got finance, secure. Do we mention security? Or is that a form of finance?
You said security earlier.
What floor are we on?
Third.
Third.
Fourth, right? Fourth. Fourth was the friendship and the compatibility.
Well, I'm talking about security in the form of protection.
Okay.
And you think some women get married because they want to be protected? And I'm protected from the world, if you will, like emotionally. You know, I feel sorry for some single women. They tell me like they have to think about so many things as far as protection, their physical protection.
Yeah, when I go places to the car dealership, the car wash, or take care of business, people come to my house, and when I say my husband's up to something, they have a different look on their face because they know it's a man
It's
there.
a
They
man.
have to answer to it. They do something wrong or whatever. It's somebody that they will have to answer to. That makes me feel good to know that somebody's gonna protect me if I need it.
Also with mechanics and repair situations,
Yeah.
where a woman will more than likely be taken advantage of. If a man is present.
Yeah.
you kind of
So
mitigate
you're saying that some women do get married for protection. For
Yes.
that. It's a
Yes.
part of it.
Yes, absolutely, it's a part of it because, like I said, men are providers and
Protectors,
protectors,
yeah.
and they profess their love to you. You know, they tell everybody, "This is my woman. This is my wife." That's a part of it. It's supposed to be.
It's a byproduct of the baby.
Well, I mean, I know a lot of men, and I never knew they was married till the day they died. They never talked about that wife. She wasn't on the thing hanging out with us and all that.
There's just so much stuff going on that you don't even want to put your wife through none of that.
But I'm just
That's
saying,
all that is.
That was protection. It was a layer of
My husband
protection.
doesn't hang out.
That's part of
That's
protection.
what
But my husband doesn't hang out, but y'all know he exists. He pops out when he needs to.
Yeah.
It's people that my close friends have seen him.
Yeah, but we were saying what you said. So we didn't know, and it's all a form of protection.
That's all. If we seem elusive, it's only because we don't need everybody in our business.
I gotta protect.
We don't want them getting
For those
at you.
people, I don't think it was that reason.
No, I'm just
I don't think
telling you,
they was being
I'm just telling you.
I
elusive
have to
for
protect.
that reason. They was being elusive because they was out here in these streets.
That's a sneaky thing.
That's a fact. That's a fucking fact.
Yeah.
Y'all know these people that had people thought the side chick was the wife. Y'all know.
Do they still have side? Do they still have side chicks?
Do they still have Tuesday and Wednesday?
Are you a side chick right now?
Right, they still spend time.
That's what replaced
Yeah, they still
Tuesday
spend
still exists.
Yeah, they still spend polyseeds.
Yeah,
And I wanted to say that I was expecting it to be some polyseeds on the floor in my pocket. I was gonna get in bag. I need a polyseed.
No, we're switching the beards and bald heads, so you don't want one of those.
No, you don't want no beard.
Or beard or bald head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think that, sometimes it's women, I'm thinking about like certain communities, like all your friends are married. So you want to be a part of that community. You want to be a part of that clique. So that lifestyle that they may be living, it says you need a husband. You know what I mean?
Once again, we're black. There might be certain circles of people that run together that's married, but the majority of black women are not married, and they are not getting married.
Well, some of the pompous organizations, the part of it is that these women are married. And I don't want to say the
We're not gonna say the
organization's
names, and we know
the part of it is like
they went up the
okay,
hill to get a bag of water.
Yeah,
You know.
I'm married.
So we have to start our own. Like you said, the numbers dictate everybody gonna get
Yeah, and I'm willing to take two off the market, but then they give you flack for that. You know what I'm
I
saying?
just think that
It's a
as
different
long
kind
as
of
we
marriage.
keep extending adolescence, we'll have less marriages. So
It's
What do you
okay.
mean by that?
Talk
What do you
about
mean
that.
by that?
Yeah.
you could be on your mom's insurance until you're 26.
Mhm.
The majority of these adult kids under the age of 30 live at home. They don't leave. Parents are still paying cell phone bills, car insurance. I read an article the other day that said that 1 in 4 families is subsidizing their adult kids' life up to $1,500 a month. If you getting subsidized by your mama and daddy for $1,500 a month, you can't afford a wife or a husband.
You the county.
You're
You're the county.
Yeah, you the extra mate.
Yeah.
So until people start saying you instead of calling 38-year-old my baby, that's not your baby, that's your son. And he needs to go be grown and get him a family and go on about his grown life. Because if you're not gonna start until you're 42, then you're gonna get with somebody that's 27. She's saying bro all day. Y'all ain't about to stay married because she's 27 and you 42 talking about bro. You're gonna be like, we're getting a divorce. Now y'all got 2 kids, they over my house.
Yeah.
No thank you.
Baby got a ball spot.
No, but really, the extended adolescence is a problem in the black community, and that's another reason why people are not.
I like the way you said that, the extended adolescence.
It's like failure to launch. I mean, in our community too.
We're
With the
enabling
people
our
who
children.
are, and we're labeling ourselves. People are still acting like they're 30-something when they're 50-something.
Yeah.
Or
Who go out 3 or 4 times a week to the bar, to the club, to the party, to the picnic, to the
well, watch this.
takeoff,
Some
to
of
whatever.
the mothers
Take
are
off or
almost
take
dating.
Whatever,
themselves.
both of them, whatever they
That's
call
the
that
husband.
shit. Huh?
That's the mother's husband is the kid.
True.
So she's feeling secure because he's at home and he's handling some of the manly chores and she's feeling safe and all the things that she would normally get from her mate. But she don't mind doing these things and paying for the kid. But you're spoiling him.
Right. Because really all he doing is taking out the trash.
Yeah.
Because he in there playing the game, and his friends coming in and out, but he keeping you company. But he needs to go. Because you never really gonna have a man when you got your grown son there, because your dude gonna be like, this nigga gotta go.
I ain't gonna
Hey,
say
man.
do it.
He here playing the game, and I gotta go to work, and you want me to pay the bills? Oh yeah, he gotta go.
Hey, man. Hey, man.
We both can-
I need these women to listen. Why they not calling in? They need call in and talk to Yolanda because she's telling you the truth.
Well, I have a lot of male friends and I have a lot of girlfriends. And the men are telling me one side of the story, and the women telling me the other side. And I'm watching it with my own two eyes. I've asked many times on my social media, are you raising the person that you're talking about? Hey, all these people talking about dudes that ain't nothing, but are you raising the dude that ain't nothing?
Yeah.
Are you teaching your son not to take care of women? Are you teaching your son, oh, that ain't my son's baby? Well, how do you know?
And
What you
does
know
the
for
same
that?
thing apply to you?
Exactly.
You know, oftentimes they don't extend that to the kid.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I have a friend whose daughter got pregnant, and I was like, the guy was in the military, and I was like, oh, are they gonna get married? And she was like, oh no. She acted like I said, are y'all gonna get back to some strangers, sell it on Instagram. Like she was really like indignant about it. I didn't think it was a bad idea for you to marry somebody that's in the military. You got a kid, you want to go to school, you can go to school for free, you get
Benefits,
medical.
all
It
that,
seemed
yeah.
like a good idea to me. You already having a baby by him, so why not? You could get
Why not?
why
That's
not?
the bigger picture shit. The whole life you bringing into this world.
Right.
And it's
And
like, you mean all the other shit was not important? You
right.
got a whole life you bringing into this world. So
Exactly.
you don't think that all this shit was supposed to be good.
Right.
So it's like we're doing a lot of things ass back
I agree. And we're giving people a whole lot of bad information. It
and
just
a
keeps
whole lot
getting
of passes.
passed down from generation to generation, just a bunch of bad information.
Now I want to go back to what you said earlier. You said a lot of women that say they don't want a man or want to be married, and I'm paraphrasing, is that they just can't marry the man that they want,
Right.
right? So if they
Obama
can
is
marry the
taken.
man that
Michelle
they
already
want,
got him. Well, Obama is taken. All
Because
the
that's the standard.
Yeah.
The president of the United States.
LeBron is taken. Savannah got him. She got him in high school. She never let him go. He ain't going nowhere. They like Cookie and Magic. They going to the grave. They riding it all the way out. Everybody can't marry somebody that's a six-figure earner that's tall, dark, and handsome.
do you think that's the thing that's preventing a lot of marriages? Is
Absolutely. I
expectations?
think that people have non-realistic expectations, especially when they get into their 40s and 50s. I think men have them and women. People looking in the mirror and they see in 1987 them, but they not seeing 2025 them.
Wow, when you
Very well put.
1987,
Yeah, they think they
Very
still.
well put.
still rolling in the
Yeah.
You got the flat top.
Yeah, we was popping back in 87.
Yeah.
We had it going on.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Flat top gone.
Yeah. Flat top. That's
Pulled up to the scene when we're still missing.
Yeah.
yeah, for real.
We used to have six packs. We used to have curves in all the right places. Everything was sitting up. Gravity is
And then too, that's and that's hard for a whole lot of people to accept.
It is.
Because I'm still looking under the eyes that see that woman at 25, 30 years old. But you gotta look at yourself as well. So you gotta be able to present what you want to receive.
That's true.
You can't let that like I said, shit, I tell her what's hurting on me, she tell me what's hurting on her.
That's
And that's just what it is. I mean, it things have changed. You ain't jumping out the bed when the alarm goes off no more. Your ass sitting on the edge of the bed, and I'm looking down and like, well, shit, I gotta slide down because if I jump off of this, I may twist my ankle or break something. You know what I'm saying? My bones
Yes.
is not
Yes.
like they used to be. So I'm serious.
How high is your lid?
They both are high. But what I'm saying is,
No,
I look like if I'm about to step off a curb, I'm measuring that shit. Because all you got to do is step wrong.
Kevin, I failed 3 weeks ago. I got to go to physical therapy. My
See?
foot is still swollen and
See
it
what I'm
still hurts.
saying?
You don't bounce back like
No.
you used to. You just don't. I mean, I didn't.
Yeah.
I can't speak for nobody but myself. I thank God that I didn't break my ankle, or anything, but my foot is literally still hurting. I fell on La Cienega in a big crack in the street
See?
and I hurt myself.
You need a turn?
Yeah, it sounds like she's doing
Yeah.
Sounds like she's doing
Top dog.
I
Yeah.
fell and across Zook, and I did send them a letter yesterday.
Take a picture. Take a picture.
Yeah, I got pictures. I got the whole 9
We
yards.
talk that.
That's right. But I agree with what you're saying, and you're right. And those are the main things about getting older and growing older gracefully with somebody and loving the person that you, and being able to accept the gray hair, the bald head, and the extra equate and all the stuff that goes along with it. Because, you know,
You remember how we used to slide down the banister of the stairs?
Absolutely.
Now,
you all know it's in the bed.
Yeah.
I turn sideways just to make sure my foot hit every step correctly. It's just chances that I'm not willing to take anymore.
Well, I mean, that's smart. The only way that we're gonna make it to be old is to be careful. The people that was reckless and lived their life wild and foul, they ain't here no more. They didn't make it. There's a few of them left, but they broke down. They look like what they been through too. You see them, you be like, dang, you see such and such, you look horrible. So when you get married,
Oh, that would be in a couple of nevers.
I think you like what I said today. I can see the smirk behind your glasses. I can see that you can tell that there's still hope out there.
Yeah, and he's hiding behind us. But
There's still hope out there.
Yeah.
You guys are good brothers. There's women out there that would love a good brother that's about his business.
But most women, they are in love with the whole thing of marriage. They're not really in love with the man, right?
I just don't believe that.
You don't believe that?
No, because you have to make somebody see you.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you fancy. You got a lot of fancy shit on, sparkling your hat, your spark. You know, they got to see you.
that means like
That's
pilot,
Take all that shit off, Canoe. Take it all off.
You selling your store. This is what you do. This is your life. But they have to look behind your attire and see you.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it's part of somebody's outward appearance of what you might glean into that is in their inner.
Say that again.
He can't.
Like gleam into,
That is
Come
what-
on, Gleamer.
That is what is within them.
Yes, fashion is in your soul. However, you're a father, you're an entrepreneur, you're a community member, you are smart, you have all these other attributes about yourself that don't have anything to do with your hat and your glasses and your shoes and your fancy coats and all that stuff. Yeah, your cuff links and your scarf, your ascots, and your
Pick your ring.
They have everything to do.
Who's the dude behind the diva?
See, you gotta protect the woman. All that, you gotta take all that off. You're not gonna be able to fight.
take none of
So
this
you
off.
can fight with all that on.
Yes.
It's gonna be like the Hulk.
Yes. This is the
It's gonna be all
device.
shredded.
It better be.
Yeah, you
Glass
can
is
choke
good.
somebody out with that scarf though. You can-
Yeah, choke them out with the scarf. It's silk. You know, small silk is.
Yeah.
You can weld somebody to death with the glass.
Yep.
But you know, we ain't gonna just be on Canoe. What about EP? You know,
Yeah.
we know you jumped the broom a long time
I
ago.
did.
You can jump back over
I'm
again.
not running from the broom. I'm not running from it, but I know what it has to look like. I know it has to complement
Okay, and that's fair.
it. Yeah.
I can't no witch come right on them.
They had a good week. They had a good week. I just think that men and women both, especially in the Black community, are getting a bad rap, and I'm getting tired of every post I see. You know, when your algorithm, you start watching stuff and you just hear all this negativity, and it's just not true. All Black men marry white ladies. That's a lie. It's not true. It's not true.
And we need
the
each other.
percentages,
But it's way different.
percentages tell themselves that Black men marry more Black
Women, like, just quit lying. Like, it's just not true. And I just get tired of the, you know,
Yeah.
the commercial. You know, if you watch TV, you think Black men only either like men or other women that ain't Black. That's not true. It's a false narrative. It's just something they're trying to sell, like the Taco Bell commercial. It's just not true.
Do you hear some of your friends now? They just say, I just want to be white.
No.
No.
But I do hear my friends say that they wouldn't mind getting married and they do want a partner. They would like somebody to grow older with. They would like somebody to share in life with, to travel with, to do things with, you know, to share resources with, to build businesses with. You know, people want like-minded individuals. And I just think that maybe we need to just have a coalition of like-minded people. They end up dating or getting together, then that would be fine, because The ignorant people gonna be ignorant. You keep actually bumping into ignorant people,
Right.
you know, they out there. There's people out there who scammers and schemers and just trying to come up, but you can spot them a mile away. You can already see what their play is. But there are good men and women out there. I'm gonna stand on that. I know a lot of good men and women. So I don't like the narrative that people are. You know, I have a friend, and I won't say his name, but he's not married. But he always be like, "Oh, women over 40, they're done. They ain't never getting married." That's not true. People find love all the time, but you got to be open to it. You can't have your shield up all the time. You can't have your costume on where nobody can meet the real you.
Yeah. No, you can meet me. I'm here every day.
We're at Swank in Inglewood.
You know, everybody
White men
ain't
sex.
everybody ain't swanky. Some ladies are just plain. Would you date a plain lady who wasn't swanky?
Oh yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no, you wouldn't.
She had to match my fly when we go out though,
But
bro.
no, that's she said
Maybe that's
fine.
not there. Maybe
She's plain.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I like a Liberian type. You know, that can dress.
Until it's time to go out.
That can dress kind of good. You know, I'm more of a
Or you
sapiosexual. Like I'm more attracted to intellect than
And then
I'm.
there's one thing that I didn't bring up. Sex.
They get married.
People, women get married to people for their sexual chemistry.
Oh, okay.
For their sexual chemistry. They think that person is the one. Yeah, I don't think it's a good reason to get married. But some
That
people
photo
do.
was the rooftop.
Some people do pick their mate for sex, and there's a lot of, complaints about older gentlemen in sex. They're not happy. These women out here, they ain't happy.
What's talking about older
They're unhappy. I'll just leave it. I'm not going to listen. Family show kind of.
Right.
No, this a wrong.
Well, I'm not going to say nothing disrespectful. I'm just gonna say
I
that
can imagine.
yeah, that women are having issue with men sexually, but men are having issue with women sexually too. They say we too fat.
You don't
They
turn
say
it on no more.
we didn't gain too many pounds. They say we got potty mouth. Like I have a friend in Atlanta. He's like, oh yeah, she's nice, but she cuss too much. I never considered that a man would not have to lady because she cuss. Like, who cares if she
Well, it
cuss?
depends on where you get
Yeah.
the curse words at.
Well, he just said she had a potty mouth. He didn't like that. He's very, very picky. And the majority of my single male friends, they're very, very picky. And I'm like, this person that you describing is just
Don't
it's just
exist.
as fake as Prince Charming. It's just fake. And it's not fair to yourself or to whoever could be your man.
Yeah, I would agree. Definitely.
You know.
She looking at me. As
She was just looking
She's describing you, sir.
Well, I know
say that.
I know people that
It's
he's
not true.
dated, and I know him, and I've never heard him talk about that. But I have heard you talk about it, about you being picky, and I know that.
No,
other
that's
people
because everybody
are
else says it. I don't talk about it. If you know people
Well,
I've
what did you
dated, I
call us
wasn't.
earlier? What did you call him?
I didn't say people that you did. I said EP.
Oh,
I
that
don't know nobody. I think I only know one person that you did.
Yeah, so that's not
I
me
believe
being.
you have to be
So
to a degree.
I'm selective.
Okay, so
What's the difference?
Oh,
Selective and picky
I'm picking
ain't
you
the same thing.
selective.
No, it's a difference.
What's
Yeah,
the
I
difference?
know it's a difference, but why?
What's the difference?
Why is yours?
Picky is selectively. I'm selecting somebody that I feel compliments me, somebody that I can grow older with, somebody that I can build with, somebody I can make better, and they can make me better. Picky is just no. Picky is I can be like, I don't like this and I don't like that, and she don't have this and she don't have that. Selective. I'm selecting somebody to build with.
She drew Paul Masson. I don't date girls that drew Paul Masson.
Oh, that is such a farce.
That is something you would say,
I'm
though.
just giving.
It's not something I would say. I've never said such a thing.
No, you never said that about Parmesan. You have.
I'm just using
Now
that
she
as
drink
a-
old English. Now.
Okay, well, Paul
We
Masson is the
got
cousin. It's the
We
cousin
might
of
have
Old
an issue.
English. Paul Masson is the cousin of Old English. So it's the same.
If she take it back 40s, then yes.
I faded him in.
She probably.
You are picky. And you're also oftentimes difficult. A simple question earlier as, Hey,
All
do
right,
you like garlic?
Alicia said.
Do you like garlic? Did we just say that? It just happened right before the show. Hey, you like garlic? I don't eat the cloves. Now I don't eat them.
I
Now
wanted to understand
Dude.
what you were talking about.
Okay.
Give me further information.
Okay.
There's nothing
Yeah,
wrong with that.
Okay. At the same token, instead of yes or no,
Yeah, I say yes, you give me a clove of garlic, I'll be like that.
do you like?
I didn't want
Let
that.
me ask you this: do you like?
Well, that has nothing to do with
I
the
cook
show.
with garlic, but am I gonna just
Okay.
eat garlic? No.
See,
Fine.
she's doing the same thing.
Simple answer. She said yes. That was it.
I don't even know what you're proving right now.
What I'm proving is the complexities of you on your social outside of a personal relationship, even in your friendships, you're oftentimes difficult.
With you.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Well,
Well-
we know that you are picky for sure.
How do you know that? I mean,
I have had many
this show is not
conversations.
about canoe.
It is not.
And somebody called in, I know
Maybe,
about the end of the
maybe
show.
not directly, but indirectly.
The show is about why do women.
Yeah.
The show is why do women want to get married.
Yeah.
Women want to get married because they don't want to be alone. That's why women want to get married. That's why everybody gets married.
Thanks.
Nobody wants to die alone. Nobody wants to be in their house dead for 3 days.
Right.
Dead. Nobody want to have a heart attack.
I want
And
everybody
if somebody
to
was
find
in there with you, you want them to be like 911.
Right.
Yeah.
Had a stroke. 911. Oh, it wasn't for my wife. It wasn't for my neighbor. I wouldn't have made it.
Yeah, I think a lot of men think that way.
Women do too. Women have strokes too. Women that have convalescent homes too. They got the dream coming down too. It ain't just men. It ain't just men. We got a whole bunch of people with high blood pressure, diabetes, puff foot, whatever else the hell they got. You gotta take care of yourself. And if you're gonna be single, you better take care of yourself.
You're responsible.
Write all the stuff down and take it to a mirror so somebody has
Get your life alert.
Right. Yeah.
Something. Take a lot of deep breaths if you feel like you're having a heart attack.
Box breed.
Well, Yolanda, I want to thank you.
You make it to the fire department.
I want to thank you for coming on the show
You're lying.
and
Very
giving us a woman's perspective. I think you hit the nail on the head. That's why we would go ahead and talk. You know, do you have any last words you want to tell your people or our people about how do we get more black marriages?
I don't know, but I just want to say, always present your authentic self and the best version of you. So you never get a second time to make a first impression. So if you leave with, I got this, I got that, I could do this, I could do that. The person that you're gonna meet gonna be expecting you to do that. Be your best self. Like if you love people and you want to be helpful, then be that way. Don't pretend. The worst thing people do is pretend. If you smoke cigarettes, then you need to be smoking cigarettes when you meet the person. Don't be hiding in the backyard smoking cigarettes and then 2 years later they found out that you smoked. They didn't want to like that smoke. Like, be yourself.
Yeah.
Hmm.
People do that.
Yeah.
You know, people.
Yeah, so outside
you
of the backyard, smoke
Be yourself.
You out there.
hide.
Be yourself.
Okay.
Be yourself and give love a try. You have to be open. If you're not open to doing things, it's never gonna happen. Why not? What do you have to lose?
No, I'm just reiterating it. I'm just
You
saying
have
it
to
out
You
loud.
have to be vulnerable in order
Yeah, of course. If you're
to
giving
experience real love.
yeah, you have to.
And for women and men, stop spreading yourself so thin. You can't get to know
I thought you
somebody.
was about to say
Stop spreading yourself so thin. You can't get to know somebody if you're dating 3 or 4 people. You just can't.
Okay. We're gonna talk about that in another show.
It's true.
No, I would say it's true, but we could delve into it on another show. Anybody have any other life?
I don't think the woman has an outfit that's
An outfit that's wrong?
I don't think you own a vulnerable outfit.
I have
in your
jeans.
store or your closet.
I have jeans, loafers, and a
You don't have
And a shirt
nothing to wash your car in.
Trevor, what is a vulnerable outfit? Like, what is some flip flops? Like, I don't understand. What would be a vulnerable?
I don't, you know, this show shifts to doing too much. I think we need to go ahead and get what are the last words for the show? We have to end this. We have to go. Keep absolutely.
It's y'all show. I'm a visitor. Catch me at the Bias Opinion on Instagram.
So any last words?
I enjoyed the show. I think it's gonna be really helpful.
And any last words?
Let's bring it back.
Bring
As far as
bring
I'm
your
talking
right
about
back.
the men and women.
Men and women being together, yeah, like that black family unit.
Black love. Bring back black
Yeah,
love.
I would agree with that. I'm a ditto with
Trevor.
Trevor,
I'll say first,
turn on your mic.
yeah. I would say first love yourself. Understand how to love yourself so that you can be your true authentic self. Also become whole. So you're able to love wholeheartedly. Don't get past yourself. A lot of people oftentimes put on this facade and to try to catch a person. They're lost themselves. You do that on continuum, eventually the whole relationship is going to spiral into it. I think people need to be truthful up front, honest with themselves, and then go into a relationship, because oftentimes we introduce a person into our own. And we don't understand ourselves, and we don't understand how, or even how to love ourselves. You think you do, but you don't. Yeah.
Thank you guys for letting me see.
Oh,
So, I really appreciate it. It was a great topic. I'm glad I was able to shed a little light on women from my perspective. I've been married for 17 years.
Congratulations.
I'm happy to be married. I love my husband Marvin, and he has put up with me and all my BS. And it takes a lot to stay married. It's not easy, but you know he loves me for it. I love him too.
Power to Marvin.
There it is.
Power to Marvin.
Thank you. Please.
Thank you all.
Until next time.
Tune in next week to Spin Policy. They're gonna talk about
Marriage and baldheads.
why do men get married?
Follow, like, and share so that somebody else can hear. Until next week, we'll see you guys here on Spin
Spiritual
Policy
Baldheads.
is better.